yards with the prior history, with the 31 plays. And he says, Jerry, I started to say something when I came in the huddle. I looked in your eyes, I looked in Forrest's eyes, I looked in Gilly's eyes, I looked in Ski's eyes. I knew you knew what we had to do. So all I had to say was, okay, let's go. So, Jimmy, maybe it has to be teamwork. You know, there's a love for your fellow team member and the unwillingness to let them down. Chuck Mercine called a play on that drive that he had never, ever offered a play before in his history at Green Bay. He missed a block on a sweep, and we lost about 8 yards. So he came back to the huddle and said, Bart, I'm open on a swing pass if you need it. The linebacker that covers me is backing up, and he's not coming out with me. So we ran a swing pass and got 18, 19 yards in the first down. And then Donnie ran the ball several times, short passes and sweeps. And Bob Skoronski probably epitomized the whole thing. On the give play, on about the 12-yard line, we pulled the left guard to the right so that Bob Lilly would follow him. Now, George Andre is about 3 yards off the ball in that flex defense they have, and Bob Skoronski's job is to block George Andre out so he can't get the running back. Now, it's a very difficult block, and Andre's responsibility is inside. So Bart said to Ski, Bob, can you make that block? Ski looked at him and said, run it.
Jerry Kramer joining us. Jerry, I'm amazed. I mean, you and I have spoken so many times over the years, and I've always held you in the highest regard and have immense respect for your intellect and your recall. But even today, you're kind of blowing me away with all of this. I mean, how do you remember every single detail of a game like that this long after the fact?
Well, it was a highlight, Jimmy. It was a great moment in my life, and I'm so enamored of that drive that it just, I guess it's just natural. There are a couple other thoughts there that were a part of that game and part of that process. One of them was that Coach Lombardi had a article by Esquire magazine that was really a hatchet job, and it was really an ugly piece, and made fun of him and ridiculed him to the point that his mother was crying about the article, and she was very upset. When I heard that she had been crying, I made up my mind that I was going to say something if I got a chance to be interviewed. Tommy Brookshire was doing the interview, so there were two things that happened. One, Tommy came over and asked me, what about Lombardi? There's a lot of conversation about him. What kind of guy is he? And I said, Tommy, nobody understands Lombardi but us. They don't understand him. They don't know him. We understand him. We know him, and we love him. This is one beautiful man. So I got that off my chest, and I turned, and Brookie went to Coach Lombardi after that, and they played the sneak in the last play of the game. And Brookie says, Coach, watch this. Jerry Kramer's going to make a block here, and Bart Starr is going to take it in for a touchdown. And they ran the play, and Coach Lombardi burst into one of those 1,000-watt smiles and said, way to go, Jerry, way to go. And he clapped his hand and smiled, and that was another unforgettable moment for me. So there are several parts of that drive and that whole thing that are crystal clear. And, of course, I've seen replays, Jimmy, over the years, so that doesn't hurt. And we're Boyd Dowler and Dave Robinson and Chuck Mercine, Donnie Anderson, a bunch of us are getting together in Green Bay Saturday night, and we're going to go to dinner, and we're going to do a lot of, yeah, man, yeah, we're bad, yeah.
What an awesome time that'll be. Jerry Kramer joining us. And Jerry, you made that block on Jethro Pugh, who passed away yesterday. And, of course, I mean, the two of you were matched up in that game, the most famous play in that game. What was he like to go up against, Pugh?
He was a really good football player, and he was a very nice human being. I had situations at a couple of charity events, Ice Bowl events, to raise money for the homeless and the folks in the street. And Jethro came up to Madison, Wisconsin, and donated his time and effort to help raise some funds. So he was a class act as a human being. He was a sweet, gentle,